Well, hey, it's November, it's proper winter, and a bunch of road riders, 5 of us of various ages and any level of experience, are all going off-road, for which we have, well, pretty much no experience whatsoever. It begs the question, what's the worst that could happen? We're about to find out. We're going out with John Whittle of Trail Riding Isle of Man, a fantastic guide and tutor, not going to stop us falling off and causing devastation and mayhem everywhere. Join us on the road.
Now, it's worth saying at the outset that this is a lad's activity. You may hear some incautious words or phrases, mainly from me. If you're worried about that sort of thing, turn down the volume or, of course, watch something else. The grand plan was to follow John wherever he led us. As it turns out, we covered about 40 miles in 4 hours. Not exactly fast progress, but we are road riders after all. Now, John started us off very gently in deference to our lack of off-road expertise. However, later in the day, things get a little tougher, the going gets harder, and there are a number of percussive parking incidents, which made the journey all the more fun. If you come here to see a bunch of amateurs make complete fools of themselves, then I guess you need to wind on a few minutes. But otherwise, stay tuned and you'll get a flavour for the day and what we got out of it as a learning experience. For the most part, the photography in this video is via a couple of helmet-mounted action cameras. Not an ideal solution as it turns out, as they made us look like Teletubbies and they got caught in the tree branches. Still, at least we tried. Right, so here's our first introduction to trail riding, a very mild trail just to get us used to the bikes. John had told us that the best way to ride the bikes is to stand up to let your legs absorb the bumps, so we gave it a go on our first run. That's me finding that it isn't easy to change gear when you're standing up. Quick check to make sure the cameras are working, and some timely advice from John before we set off.
Right, so, first lane guys, nice and easy. Any of you stand up, going up the hill there, just to get a feel of standing up, yeah. Like I say, if you don't want to stand.
You can probably hear that I'm on a two-stroke. It's a GPX 250 two-stroke supplied by John. He's a dealer, and it's a good chance to try out these bikes whilst you're on a run before you buy.
Good.
Right, so we'll get to the end of this one. It's only a short one, and then we're down through 7 gates down towards Kinnair that way, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I have to say that a two-stroke for off-road use wouldn't be my first choice. I'm just not experienced enough. But this one kind of grew on me. It was plenty powerful, ran okay at the bottom end. It was a bit tall though, as I've got pretty short legs. John told me that there was an option to reduce the ride height by 40mm, which in retrospect would have been great. And if I do go back for a bike, well, that's an option I'm going to be taking. By comparison, the GPX 250 4-stroke sounds really relaxed. At this point, it's being ridden by my mate Tony, who's carrying the other camera. The 4-stroke bike was just as tall as the previous GPX, the 2-stroke that I was riding, but I prefer the gentle, predictable delivery of a 4-stroke, and the GPX 250 4-stroke was smooth, powerful and torquey, a very good combination. If you'll notice, the surface beneath us is starting to get a little bit boggier, maybe John's way of breaking us in gently.
Next lane, I don't know if anybody's been down here before. A few gates and it's quite narrow. First bit's a little bit rough. It's not too rough. Look ahead all the time. If you can stand up, stand up. Look at least as far away as you can pretty much see now.
Yeah, 50
So you just know what you're riding over. You've got rubber tyres, you've got suspension. It does everything for you pretty much. Just you adjust your revs as accordingly. So nice and steady down here. I'll open the gate and I'll shut the gate. So if you all go through, just pull up to one side, I'll shut the gate and then we'll carry on. Yeah?
Marvellous.
All right.
Now this is our Ben, sat on a CRF 250L Honda. He's a big lad with long legs, and he makes it look a little like a moped.
One or two.
John had 2 of these for us to use on the day, and unsurprisingly, we did a bit of a swap around later on. Ben was much happier on the taller GPX, and I was happier on the CRF because it was an easier reach for my legs. Now, one of my big takeaways from the day are that these type of trails are easier if you can keep up a decent pace. That's easier said than done though, when there are 6 of you in a line, and you all have to go to the pace of the slowest rider. I found the going easiest when I could hang back a bit, and then use a faster pace to smooth out the bumps. I hadn't noticed John having any similar difficulties though. And the last bike in the hire fleet is a Beta Alp 200. That's a fair bit shorter. It was suited to Andy, who's of a smaller size, and he bagged it as his own from the start. We moved on to the first of a number of mini set-piece challenges, this time a water crossing. Well, I found that pretty easy, and that really increased my confidence, which, it turns out, was never really going to play in my favour. first blood to the scenery. A whack to the head from a passing tree turned my camera around and put me off my stride a little bit. And as we progressed, the going was getting almost imperceptibly a little tougher, a little muddier, a little rockier, and we had to choose our lines a bit more carefully than we did earlier in the morning. Time for a break, a photo, and a bit of a team chat.
Right. Let's have a minute. Anybody need a drink or anything?
No, I've got a wardrobe emergency.
All right.
Pants are falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's get a thumbs up. So, everybody all right? Yeah. Comfortable with the bikes? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to come out of here.
Yeah.
Back up along Arch Halligan, and then we'll take the rocky road down towards Glenvine. Yeah.
Now by this stage, we'd all got settled in, things were going swimmingly, and that meant it was only a matter of time before something was going to happen. Sure enough, it was first blood down to Andy. No one hurt though, and nothing damaged other than a little pride.
Yeah, he's fine. Animal rescue.
The rest of the team, of course, were deeply concerned at Andy's fate.
What happened there? Whoa, we got one off. Who is it? Andy. Andy's off. First man down.
Just wanted to investigate the hedge.
Frankly, I used Andy's off to take a little breather, and it gave me a chance to turn my camera around. Note the crowd of sadistic onlookers queuing up behind me. And Dan doing his Daddy Longlegs impression. Now, as we said earlier, the best way to absorb the bumps is to stand up when you're riding. However, that means you're using muscles that you never normally use, and all of us felt the pain a few days later. On the longer stretches, where there are no gates to hold us up, John took a moment to make sure that he hadn't got any lost sheep.
We've got everybody.
Right.
Now, it wasn't that the going was getting any rougher, but we were all getting a bit tired. And it wasn't long before I joined Andy on the scoreboard of shame.
Yeah, bastard.
You can hear Tony laughing his socks off even before I hit the ground. That's mates for you. dusted myself down, picked up my bike and got ready to set off, only to find out that the damn thing was stuck in first gear. I'd bent the lever out of sight. Cue a long ride of shame, all in first gear and on a slippery slope, all the way to reach John, who'd got the gear to bend the lever back into shape.
That was the slowest ship parking in history.
Is it on camera?
I think so.
Yellow camera.
Well, I think so. Can you just push the fucking thing down so I can get off it? Yeah. I'm a bit nervous.
That was good, wasn't it?
All I've done.
Stop laughing. You'd have to
bent-
look there.
All right.
Which means I'm stuck in first, which is why I had to do the whole of that lot in first. Sorry, John. I'm at least keeping up the battering average. That was the slowest drop in history, wasn't it? I stopped and no. Half got off the bike and lowered
See
it.
later.
Oh, you got it.
Still working.
Have you got it from 2 angles? Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh no, the camera's dead.
Thank God for small mercies, eh?
Just got back. I didn't film him.
It's fine.
So the day progressed with every type of terrain, from narrow technical sections to wide open, slippery, rocky. We had literally no idea what was coming next. Towards the end of the day, we faced our second water feature. This one was fast flowing, but looked pretty easy. Maybe not that easy then. I know what I did, or what I didn't do. I didn't accelerate up the bank.
You're not doing too well today.
No shit, Sherlock.
And the other one.
You're alright.
Hey?
You're alright.
No, I'm fine. Wait.
You haven't hurt yourself.
Alright.
No. Ah. Just,
You get that one, Elise?
yes, I got that one. Yeah, but I got both of mine. Yeah. Wet through.
You're going to be so glad you brought that
I know
camera.
he made me go in front.
By now totally knackered, but bathing in the concern and love of my sons and friends, I set off again. By now it was all seeming a bit hard and difficult, and I'm beginning to wonder why I volunteered for this thing in the first place. This is the very activity for which the phrase was coined, "I'm getting too old for this stuff." Not only was I tired and knackered, but I was leading the scoreboard of shame, and my 2 lads hadn't even scored a point each. That really wasn't what I was expecting when I put myself forward as the one who at least had some off-road experience.
Ha! Yeah. He got stuck in first gear. But it's okay now.
Yay! Andy to the rescue. At least I'm not in last place anymore. Now this was a section we all struggled with. It was like the Sumatran jungle growing in all around you. All you could do was go slowly and pedal your way through when you got stuck. time for a rest and a bit of supportive team chatter.
Hey, is this a competition between you two? Who can get most of it?
I tell you what. You have a swap?
Yeah, swap, yeah.
It'll be a little bit easier on the Honda, I think. Just on my leg. It's a bit lower.
No, you have a go on that, yeah. I'll have a go at two-stroke if you want.
Ben wants to go of it.
Oh, does it?
Oh no, that's
me
a
off it
Well,
now.
give me an on, do you want to go on that one?
that would be a bad combo.
On that, yeah.
You and a two-stroke.
I'm going on next.
I've got
Hey?
them.
I'll just keep
I
dangling.
know. That's what I said. That's a bad combo.
No, it's a fun combo.
Me on anything with two wheels is a bad combo. That's a short one, isn't it?
What?
This is the short ass Honda.
Short one.
Yeah.
That'd be why it looks like kids back on me.
Yeah. Well, when you got on, I thought it looks like a moped.
These are quite nice because they just sit that little bit taller. I'm quite comfortable on that.
Daniel, shut up.
On what, sorry? On
That one.
Yeah.
Just sits
Height-wise. Yeah, these two are a bit taller than these, but
Yeah, well, it's not a problem because they're born on stilts, aren't they?
yeah. All right. No.
I think he was behind me, pissing himself laughing, and then nudging me up the backside.
Yeah.
I couldn't put my legs
Would
up.
you expect anything else?
I couldn't put my legs up because we did, and I put my leg out, it just won't move that quick. I thought I'm over on my arse, so I had to waddle.
Good afternoon, though.
Fantastic afternoon.
Oh, you can't focus. Wait, what? You can't both under this, can you?
No. Well, John can. He can do it without us.
We're here now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So if we find this lane here now,
And as we'd taken some time off the bikes, John took a moment to show us the interactive Isle of Man trail map so that we could do all this stuff again on our own, but without his help. I'm not so sure that would be a fantastic idea.
You kept stopping up there and I kept pushing him up.
I'm in the right place here.
That's why we're laughing.
So
All right, yeah.
I click on that. So then you press that and it tells you what.
It gives you the unrestricted.
Yeah.
Is that the
Middle Farm Road. This.
Yeah.
So
is that
and
like the
it's
government mapping?
unsurfaced.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
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 Enough stalling, we were on the home leg. We were headed back to base camp. If only my actual leg could carry me that far.
Hey, section getting on when you've had a rest. Oh, you've done it.
Oh, no, it is a bit lower.
Where is Q on this?
Makes it a bit easier for us, our size.
Okay. Well, I didn't have this to start with. Okay. Because I'm an idiot.
You red switch, red button. Red button. Should be out.
Hey.
Now I have to confess that I've had previous experience of this particular Honda. I've ridden it a couple of times on previous trips with John, and it's really comfortable. And we're on easy roads, so all we had to do is make it the last half an hour or so back home, and I could rest up my weary bones. The Honda's a truly fantastic machine for the inexperienced. It has the power delivery of a lawnmower, which is exactly what you want when you're on these green trails and you're just trying to stay upright rather than go forward at 50 miles an hour. I mean, listen to that engine note. It's truly relaxing, monotonous, soporific even. Oh, bugger. Maybe too relaxing. I picked the bike up without stalling the engine and got back on it. And under the rules of Guy Martin racing, that's not an off.
I didn't fall off.
No, you didn't. Don't count that one. Must try harder.
Yeah. All good. Coming through.
Now the reason for me getting a bit of a move on here is that we were approaching home and I wanted to record us returning to the base, and my battery was getting low.
Can we do a battery change? We'll do a
I also
battery
knew
change.
that the final leg involved one really nasty little hurdle, and I wanted to make sure we captured it.
Oh, ho, ho! I did a stoppie! Hey!
Andy's off. It's not terrible struggle.
Now I want you to know that I took no pleasure at all in Andy's third off. Well, maybe a little selfish pleasure. Hang on a minute, the team have declared it not an off. Oh, bugger, that means we're back to level pegging again. Still, we're not home yet. With this being our first group outing, you can be assured there are plenty more episodes to come. Stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed and like and get notified, and keep in touch with our further episodes as the group gets more practiced, more competent, and of course, more adventurous. Oh, and it's worth mentioning that our Ben had a bit of an off, although, luckily for him, off camera. Don't think he got away with it scot-free though, laughing boy, as the scoreboard of shame sees everything, and it'll be recorded for history. Now it's worth mentioning that even though it was early November and the weather should have been cold, it actually wasn't. We had a balmy 13 degrees, and although it was wet underfoot, the views were fantastic and the weather was definitely in our favour. Time then for a cautious opening up before the next section, which was deemed to be a bit more difficult. And this final one's the toughie. Slippery, narrow, uphill, lots of rocks and stuff, and a final challenge at the end. Well, that was hardly my finest decision.
Yeah, so I'm just going to get the tree out of my head.
And as we head for home, here's a couple of thoughts for the day. The first is, doing this once a year is not going to build up any significant off-road skills that are going to be able to be translated for when I go on my on-road tours. The second thing is, being the wrong side of 60, attempting a full-on day out with all the other lads is incredibly stupid, and maybe I need to take this whole thing in bite-sized pieces. If only I had an off-road bike of my own, I could go out from time to time, at my own pace, and pick up these skills as I go along. Oh, hang on a second, did I not mention that off-road bike? Well, I haven't told the lads yet, so you're sworn to secrecy, but here goes. I went out with Tony a few days ago to go and look at an off-road bike. Actually, it was a motocrosser, a YZ250F, a real competition beastie, and the guy selling it had two. So, well, you would, wouldn't you? They're not particularly suitable for beginners, but they're pre-loved, and I'll take a knock or two while we get to find our feet on the trails. Safely home, John and his missus served up some lovely grub whilst we discarded our riding equipment and slowly returned to some form of sanity.
Most fun you can have with your socks on. Yes.
Your damp socks on.
Your damp socks on.
Yeah. How did you know about my sexy sock fetish?
Hey, she told me all about it.
Just in case.
Spare engine.
Feel as stiff as a board.
I feel as stiff as a board and not in a good way.
Brilliant fun, that. Thank you, Jen.
Oh my God.
No, thank you very much. I've never done all that. It's great fun, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Especially when I can push you from behind.
If we're getting bikes, I'm getting a two-stroke. Hands down. Hands down if we're getting bikes, I'm getting a two-stroke.
Tommy. I'm off.
Finally, as we were sat there, eating our way through sausage rolls and pork pies and the like, and a nice hot cup of coffee, we got to watch John, cleaning the bikes as usual, and without asking us to pitch in. I think we'd done enough damage already.
Ideally, you just want to...
If you live on the Isle of Man, or even if you're visiting, you could do worse than to look up John at Trail Riding Isle of Man and book a day out. It's bound to improve your riding, and it's great fun along the way. You'll find him on Facebook. As for us, we've got a little winter project on. We're going to do up those two Yamaha motocrossers and get them road legal and ready for trails in the early spring. I'll pop up another video as and when we make progress towards tackling the trails on our own terms. Stay tuned, keep riding, and above all, stay safe. We'll see you on the roads, or indeed, the trails.